Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Pro Wrestling Straight Shooter. I'm your host, DJ. WWE No Mercy 2017 is in the books, and I want to talk about that one. YouTube doesn't give me a whole lot of time, so I'm going to go right into it and tell you what I liked about the pay-per-view, what I didn't like about the pay-per-view, and go down the individual matches and give you a bit of my ratings and personal opinions on that. I'm going to say the pay-per-view as a whole I thought was pretty stacked. I was really super excited going into this. A lot of good feuds, a lot of good heat, a lot of intriguing storylines going into it. And for the most part, I thought WWE delivered a solid outing. If I had to take one negative complaint away from this thing, it would be the same one that I had about SummerSlam. For me, the first half of the card was absolutely lit and on fire. Second half of the card started to taper off a little bit, and by the end, I was just like, where's the payoff, man? And WWE's had a habit of this the last several pay-per-views. It's like they really deliver, they deliver, but there's no encore. And really good entertainment packages need a good encore. And for me personally, the main event should be the encore, and they haven't been delivering that over the last several months. Other than that, thoroughly enjoyed the pay-per-view. I'm going to get right into the matches, starting with the pre-show. On the pre-show, we had Elias versus Apollo Crews, and I'm going to go on record as saying Elias was one of those guys in NXT who I just didn't get. I kind of dug the gimmick, but as a worker in the ring, he wasn't drawing me in. He wasn't keeping my attention. He's one of the few guys who's made that transition from NXT who won me over moving into the main roster. I'm all in with Elias right now, guys. I'm digging the gimmick. I'm digging what he's doing. He's found that way to make me believe in the character, and his ring work has just got exponentially better and better and better. I'm expecting big things from Elias going forward on the main roster, and with him getting the win over Apollo Crews on the pre-show, I don't think that's a bad way to go. Side note about Apollo Crews, I really wish the hell they'd find something to do with this guy that works, because I've been on high on him since his NXT debut. He's got a great look. He's got a great looking personality. He's got a great face. Everything about this guy screams star, but they can't find a gimmick that works for him, and that drives me insane because I want to see more. I really do. I want him to succeed. That's how high I am on Apollo Crews. Getting on to the main card itself, we opened up with The Miz versus Jason Jordan, and what can you say about The Miz that hasn't already been said, man? In the last 18 months, this guy, if anybody in the entire roster has elevated their game into the stratosphere, it is The Miz. He's absolutely brought the Intercontinental title to a place it hasn't been in years. He's putting on high caliber, high quality matches. He's having high quality feuds with people, and he's really not only making a star and a bigger star out of himself, but he's bringing up other talent, and I really felt like he did that with Jason Jordan. Jason Jordan's had the had the misfortune of just being saddled with this god-awful fucking gimmick being Kurt Angle's son. Nobody's buying it. And he's taking a lot of heat for it because everybody knows it's absolute crap. It's a garbage gimmick. However, I think there's a payoff at the end of this. Jason Jordan's going to be the better for it. This guy put on one hell of a match, and I'm expecting big things moving forward from him. Jason Jordan's a star. I'm going out on a limb and saying that right now. Next up is Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt, and this match, I'm going to be honest, I had a hard time getting emotionally invested in for the simple fact of they already did it at SummerSlam, and they did the whole fucking feud backwards. At SummerSlam, you had the Demon King versus Bray Wyatt, and then the angle going into No Mercy was Bray Wyatt didn't want Finn Balor to come out as the Demon King. He wanted to come out and see if he could face him as a man. And I really feel like they should have done that the other way around. At SummerSlam, it should have been Finn Balor, the man, versus Bray Wyatt, with Bray Wyatt taking the win, and then moving forward into, okay, Finn's got to channel the demon. He's got to bring it out, and you bring it out at No Mercy. And then this culminates into this huge explosion, which is what it should have been at No Mercy. They did it backwards, and while the two of them had an absolutely solid match because they've got great chemistry, emotionally, I couldn't have been any less invested in it simply because they'd already done it. Anyway, I gave that one 3.5 stars, and I know I didn't go down the stars on the rest of them. I'm not going to bore you guys with that. Moving on to, for me, what was the match of the night, and I expected no less from these guys. Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose versus Sheamus and Cesaro for the WWE Raw Tag Team titles. And this one I gave 5 stars, and I gave it 5 stars for a variety of reasons. One, everything was on point. The storytelling, the spots, just everything about it, for me personally, connected. Everything was great. And then Cesaro taking the bam to the teeth in the corner and still going, cannot say enough good things. I'm really high on all four of these guys. I think they're all absolute stars. I was really hesitant about what they were doing with Cesaro and Sheamus about a year ago when they put them together. Could not be more happy to say I was absolutely wrong about those two as a tag team, and I hope they don't break them up anytime soon. Next up, and this one, I mean, if the tag team title match was right here, the women's five-way eked it out at just a slim margin less, simply because I'm not a big fan of this many people in the ring, particularly when there's so many women and there could have been other available slots on the roster for more singles women's matches, which is what I want to see more of. However, I'm not taking a thing away from anybody in this match, and they made absolute stars out of all five women, including Emma, who a lot of people on the internet really felt like she was just there to for filler and to take the fall whoever was going to win this match. Didn't end up going down that way. My girl Alexa Bliss took the win over Bayley. I thought that was the right decision because of all the women on the roster right now. I think as a character, as a worker, as a heel, Alexa Bliss is just... she's reached a level that the rest of them are still trying to get to. That's taking nothing away from the rest of them. And big surprise here, and again, I love saying this, Nia Jax. She was another one who, when she was on the NXT roster, I saw no upside, man. And it had nothing to do with anything other than the fact that she just really looked... not lost in the ring, but she just lacked that tangible confidence. And when they bumped her up to the main roster as soon as they did, I was really just kind of sitting there, kind of scratching my head. I was like, okay, I see why you would want her. She's big, she's imposing, she's got a great look, but she's really just got a long way to go. And by God, she's getting there, because she's totally won me over in the last few weeks to months. Really glad that she took a hellacious bump from the double power bomb to the outside, kept going. I thought it was spectacular, and looking forward to seeing more from Nia Jax. I don't give a shit what you say. She's a star. Next up, and this one had big emotional implications for everybody, this was the match that the internet wrestling community absolutely booked, absolutely wrote the angle and everything to do with it, John Cena and Roman Reigns. And if you're part of the internet wrestling community and you have no clue what I'm talking about, you're absolutely who I'm talking about. The internet wrote this entire angle, and I'm going to go on record as saying this. I felt like this one felt a little bit short. The first half of the match started off a little slow. The second half of the match delivered. I was pretty happy with the ending, although there's some arguments I could make with Roman Reigns taking, however many, attitude adjustments he took before the match was finally over. The biggest problem that I had was they were billing this as a WrestleMania caliber match on No Mercy, and for as good as I think both of these guys are, for as much as I love these guys and I have defended them both on Twitter and I'll defend them both to the death, I really don't feel like they delivered a WrestleMania caliber match worthy of either one of their abilities. I have gone on record many, many times defending Roman Reigns. I have gone on record many times defending John Cena. And I'm going to talk about Roman Reigns a bit more in a different video, and not specifically Roman Reigns, but this general sense of everybody thinks that he's Vince McMahon's next guy. I want to talk a bit more in another video about the guy and how I feel about who should be the guy. I'm not sure they did Roman Reigns any favors here. If they were looking to pass the torch, which from a storyline standpoint, they successfully did that with Roman Reigns defeating John Cena, but I'm not sure with the fans that this really made a bit shitting difference as far as Roman Reigns is concerned. I'm going to say this about Roman Reigns. As much as I'll defend him, I like him, I'm a fan, I'm not sure he's the guy, and I have a very specific set of reasons for that I'll get into in my video when I talk about the guy. Getting into the WWE Cruiserweight Championship, not going to say a whole lot about this one because I want to talk specifically the Cruiserweight title and Enzo Amore in much greater detail, and I'm going to do that in the next video. All I'm going to say about this one is that the internet collectively exploded when Enzo Amore beat Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship, including fellow YouTuber Valina, who I'm fairly sure had a stroke at the end of that match. Haven't heard from her today, have no clue how she's doing. I'm sure she's still pretty fucking pissed off about that one. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to talk about the Cruiserweights in a different video. Going to do it at the end of this one. Look forward to look for that one here within the next couple of days. Last but not least, this brings me to the main event. Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar had a lot of great heat, great storytelling going into this match, and this is one of those ones where the encore really should have delivered, and to a degree it did. I think for what they were trying to do, the two had a solid match. It was not what I considered a main event caliber match. However, They did what they could with the time that they had. I think they gave them, anywhere between 10 and 12 minutes. I'm going to talk about the ending of that one a little bit because the internet collectively, again, exploded with disapproval in this one. I absolutely think Brock Lesnar winning this at the end was the right call to make. I have my own opinions about Brock Lesnar being the Universal Championship and their use of part-timers in that title, and I'm going to talk about that again in a different video. I want to talk more specifically about the match itself. I love everything they're doing with Braun Strowman. I think for a guy who literally just debuted on the main roster give or take about a year ago, from where he was a year ago to where he is now, again, exponentially leaps and bounds improvement. And I look for incredibly huge things from Braun Strowman. I think at some point he'll be ready for what they need him to be for the Universal Championship or even the world title on SmackDown. Right now, I don't think Braun Strowman's there. He's not there yet. I think they went the right route with Brock Lesnar winning that one. Anyway, like I said, top to bottom, I thought No Mercy was a pretty solid card. I have my issues with it with a certain couple of matches. I can't really disagree with the calls and the endings and the finishes on any of the matches, though. Anyway, I'm Deej. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far into the video, please comment down below. Let me know what you thought about the show, the matches themselves, and as always, man, share this video for me. I'm trying to get out there. Love you guys. I'm out.